Hello and welcome back to Living Not Existing. As always, I'm Josh, and well, today's episode is going to be getting a load of stuff planted, because just been on a little shopping trip, me and Rachel, to go and get some new seeds and stuff, and basically carrying on with that bed for putting those fruit trees in. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the bed edges done and the actual sort of a little bit of the raised bed thing built, because well, the tools ended up getting put in the back of my dad's car yesterday, and he's got out in the car. So I can't get the tools, so I can't do that basically. But barring that, the rest of it's going to get sorted and get those trees in hopefully today, all being well. And so which obviously, as I was saying in the last episode and yesterday, that is a pretty drastic thing to get in, because they're starting to bud up and they ideally should have been in already. So need to get them in now basically. So I'm going to crack on with getting that sorted. So Rachel's going to be finishing off just getting that bit dug over that she was working on yesterday, and then we're going to get the trees planted. Meanwhile, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be planting a load of seedlings of all stuff that needs to get planted, because I've left it a little bit late really. But saying that, up here in the northeast it's been absolutely freezing, so I've sort of made an executive decision not to plant yet, purely due to temperatures. So, but it's starting to warm up now, it's looking hopeful, it seems to be picking up as the weeks have been going by, so I've been watching the weather a bit, and hopefully all should be well, and reading packets of things and stuff like that and looking on the internet, it sounds like it's the right sort of time for me to get planting. So, yeah, I'll quickly show you the stuff from which I got from the shop. So we just went to B&M again, because B&M's got some good stuff, and the things I got was, I got a pressurised hand spray just for watering all the seedlings, because I remember my nana had a thing like this before. She probably still uses it, in fairness, it's probably still the same one. But so I'm going to try using this on my seedlings just to give them a nice sort of more gentle water. So I got that thing. It's only like a couple of quid or something like that as well, so it was alright. Some more gloves, because mine are knackered. You can't go wrong with gloves. A rose for the big watering can, because I don't actually have one yet, and I've just been using the main water stream, so it'd just be obviously a good thing to have. And then got a load of seeds. So the seeds in which I've got is some tomato seeds first, which is a good old classic money maker. So grew them last year and they came on brilliant, they got massive and everything. They seem to look after themselves during the later part of the year, and which I was shocked at and wasn't expecting. So, but yeah, so got them again, some money makers. Then happened to find these as well when I was looking, some red cherry tomatoes. So they'll be nice to try out. Got some nice cherry tomatoes. Then some sweet corn, because I love sweet corn, as does my dad as well, and Rachel and all of her family. So hopefully going to get a good little patch of sweet corn growing, because I do actually have some left over from last year, and I was just looking just a minute ago, and so the ones from last year were some Wilco sweet corn, Wilco ones as well, but they were actually both Swift F1, which was completely by chance. I didn't realise I was buying the same ones, so it's worked out quite well. So something I'm going to try out as well with these is, obviously, the Mr. Fothergill's seeds were more expensive than the Wilco seeds. So it'd be interesting to see if any of them have any sort of different grow times and germination times and everything. So I'm actually, when I plant these, going to mark up which type are which, just to see if there happens to be any difference between the different type of seeds, cheaper over expensive. So just a little bit of an experiment there to see what happens. But yeah, so I've got them. Then I've also got a packet of all green bush courgettes. A packet of cucumber, because my sister is obsessed with cucumber, and she's asked me to grow some, so I've got them. Some cauliflower, because you can't go wrong with cauliflower cheese, so cauliflower there. Some parsnips, and then some carrots, which are actually carrot fly resistant, so should be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, so I've got them. And as you know, with that a funky veg kit, I do also have some purple carrots as well that will be going in alongside these when that gets done. But yeah, so obviously the carrots and the parsnips I'm not going to be planting today, because they need to get planted directly outside. So, and obviously outside, because of my rotavator breaking at the moment, I haven't managed to get that sorted out. And obviously with everything else going on, that's not sorted out yet. So these will be going in shortly, as soon as that the big shed's finished getting put up, and I've got all the sort of space back to get dug over and turned over and everything. So yeah, so they're going to be put on pause for a little bit longer as of yet, but I've got the seeds now, so it's always a good start. Yeah, and then last but not least, just a little something for the shed, some little solar powered LEDs, just because it will make it nice and pretty in there. So, and they were on offer, so I thought I might as well get them. But yeah, so that's it really for new things that I've got on the allotment. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to have a dig through of where all the pots are over down the side of the greenhouse, and that were already here, and see, hopefully there should be a load there that are going to all be good for getting those things planted in and started off, while Rachel's finishing off digging over that bed over there. So yeah, I'll show you the mess of the pots and what things are like over there now, and then I'll crack on with getting stuff planted. So I'll see you in a second. Right, so as you can now see, I'm over by the side of the greenhouse where all these pots are, and there's loads of them that have just been dumped down here, and there's been loads of nettles, as you can see, that have grown around it and grown over it all. So what I'm going to start by doing now is I'm going to start chopping down a load of these nettles and everything like that, just to be able to get into all those pots a bit easier, and then start pulling them out and just sort of seeing what I've actually got already down here. And then once I've sorted out a few, and hopefully there's a few that are okay to plant into, and I'm going to get those seeds planted into them, a bunch that will be ready to get planted now. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. We're getting all that lot dug out, and meanwhile Rachel's over here digging away, and in fact it looks like she's got a little bit of help from the chickens going on there. So Rachel's just digging away on all this lot, getting all the rest of that greenery pulled out, as you obviously saw all of this lot yesterday that she was working on. Now, as I just said a minute ago, obviously the rest of these bed edges aren't going to be finished off today, because my dad's got the tools in the back of his car. So Rachel's just working away there, getting that all sorted, and in the meantime, while she's doing that, as I say, I'm going to start digging out the pots from over there. So I'll crack on with that, and I'll show you what I found. Right, so as you can now see, the digging over of this bed area is now complete, with much thanks to Rachel doing a great job there. And yeah, so as you can now see, chickens are just having a peck about at any sort of other bits and bobs, the little bits of greenery that are left in there and stuff that have just got like chopped off the ends and stuff. So we'll just let them play about getting the rest of the bits and bobs, because they do a good job of tidying things up. They're pretty good at that. And then you can also see, obviously, the fruit trees have sort of been put into place of where I'm thinking of putting them, and just having had a bit of an idea there, thinking on about things. And so there's actually a largish area left at the end here, once spacing them all out and everything. And I was just thinking what I could put in that end area there is the rhubarb, in which I got. Should be quite nice, and of course that needs to go back in the ground, really. I mean, it's been alright just sat in there in its original mud, but obviously it could do with being planted sooner than later. It doesn't want to be sat like that for too long, and it's been like that for a while now. So we'll get that planted into there as well as all three of these trees put in, and then I'll show you that. Right, well, as you can see, now got 2 trees planted, which is the Victoria plum at the back there, and then the cherry tree, this sunburst cherry tree is what it is. So I've got that one planted there as well. And I just thought I'd quickly show how I've been planting them, just in case anyone was interested. But yeah, so basically what I've done is just dug a nice big hole in which the actual pot itself fits into. So then what the next thing I've done is I've figured out the orientation of the tree in which the branches are at the moment, because of course there's going to be a fence going here for the chicken run, so obviously don't want any major branches heading towards that direction, because it's just going to cause problems later on when the trees get bigger. So for now what I've done is I've made it so anything sort of main branches are pointing sort of away from that fence. So the next thing in which I'll do is I pull the actual tree out of the hole and just give it a bit of a whack on the sides, just to get it so everything's loose, and it should just lift out hopefully in one lump. The first one fell apart, the second one came out in a lump, so we'll see what the third one's like. So just get me tree at the orientation that I'm happy with. Still needs a bit more of a bash. It can be a bit stiff. Hopefully, typically this one's not going very easily. Right, well it's just come out as roots as opposed to a lump, so it's majorly fallen apart. It's the worst one yet. So, using the soil that it came with, I put a load more in and just sort of give it as much of its soil it's used to as possible. Then, of the multi-purpose compost, which I got from B&Q, just top the rest of the hole up around it with all of that, and give it a nice good push down all the way around it. Until it's nice and solid in where it is. Then, just to tidy up a bit more, push a load of the soil that came out of the hole back on top and around it. And there we go. Simple as that. So now I'm just going to get the rhubarb planted in there, and then I'll show you that and get cracking on planting all the seeds. Right, so as you can now see, all the rhubarb is now nicely planted in there. So as to how I actually got it, I just thought I hadn't actually shown it when it was out of the tub itself. But when I got it, I actually ended up getting like a big lump and then a few little pieces, as you can see. So as you can see now, is I put the main big lump in the middle, which is all leaning over like it's got strong winds on it at the moment, but that's just because of the direction that it was in when it was actually inside of that bin. So but yeah, so that'll obviously all straighten itself back out and grow to the sun and stuff again. And then and as you can obviously see, I just put 4 of the little bits around it just to make a nice big rhubarb patch right there. Should be all good. But yeah, so that's that. So now we're going to go and get into the greenhouse and get some of those pots sorted out and get a load of soil put into them and get ready for planting the seeds. So I'll see you back in the greenhouse when I've got a load of soil in some pots. Right, so I've now got the pots sorted out and a load of soil put in, as you can see down here. And what I've done now is I've laid out which seeds I want to put in which pots, just for now, because obviously I've just got sort of like the big tray things as opposed to all the little ones and stuff, so I've sort of organised it out already now. So in this first one here, now I don't know if you remember from before, these Thompson and Morgan seeds I got given these by a friend of mine, Trevor, and so I'm going to try growing some of his radishes again. So got that packet left over of stuff there. Then something I forgot to say earlier on that I got, I'd put it down in a different pile and misplaced it, but I found it again now, because I actually got some spring onions today as well. So I'm going to get them planted in this next one. Then the cauliflowers in the one after, and then I'm going to do cucumbers and courgettes in the next one, and make sure they're well labelled up, because of course that's going to be pretty confusing when they start coming through. But hopefully, according to the picture, the seedlings are different, so hopefully I should be able to tell the difference when they're through, but obviously I'll have them labelled anyway. But I don't need as many as each of those plants, so I'm going to put them just both in that small little planter. The next one, I'm going to start all my tomatoes off in here, which I'll probably just be doing them in lines or so. So I've got, like I said earlier, but I'll say again, I've got the money makers and the red cherries, but then also for some seeds that I got from Trevor before that I haven't tried growing yet, but I'd be interested to try them, is some Tamina tomatoes, from Thompson and Morgan. So I'm going to give them a try as well. And then last but not least is all the sweet corn, because you need plenty of sweet corn, and let's say both my family and Rachel's family and pretty much everyone I know loves sweet corn. So I'm going to grow lots of sweet corn and have a good big sweet corn patch. So I'm going to crack on now at getting the seeds all put in, and then I'll show you them when they're all done. Right, well, everything's now planted, with thanks to Rachel as well. She's been busy working away there on things. So she's got much neater handwriting than me, so she's done all the tags as well. So basically now I've got everything planted. So I've got a full thing of radishes, to which I just sprinkled in, covered over with the soil, the same as I did the mustard seeds, the same sort of way of planting of which I did them. So I done the radishes, the spring onions and the cauliflower, all in a similar fashion to that. And then Rachel very nicely planted the cucumber and the courgettes, and what I've done with that, with splitting them, is basically we've got 2 and 2, looks like 4 of each type of the cucumber and the courgette on each side, with these showing which sides they're going to be, which obviously will help when they start coming through. Now if you remember at the beginning and stuff as well, I said about with the sweet corn, I was going to have a bit of a contest between Wilco's cheaper seeds and Mr. Fothergill's seeds, just to see if there is a difference between cheaper seeds and more expensive seeds, or if there isn't, and also if it depends on which year you buy them. So just as a bit of interest really, more than anything. I needed to use up the Wilco seeds, and then obviously was planting more of the Mr. Fothergills, so worthwhile experiment. So what I've done on here is I've just got, same again, I've got the Wilco seeds for the sweet corn on one side and the Mr. Fothergills on the other. And then as for the tomatoes, I've done all in the same tray, but I've put them in strips. So I've got a strip of Tamina, a strip of the red cherry, and a strip of the Moneymaker tomatoes. So, and I suppose it might as well be a bit of a race to see which one of those types comes through first as well. So that's that really. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to test out my new watering thing on these and get them all watered, as well as water the rest of the seedlings, because there's some bits and bobs of them that are looking a bit dry. So give them a little bit more water, as well as try out the new rows on the watering can on the trees and the rhubarb as well, and get them all watered up. And then I think we should have a fire and get all that going, because there's plenty of weeds and bits and bobs of wood and everything that needs burning off. So we'll get that sorted, and then we'll say goodbye next to the fire, hopefully. So yeah, might as well get these watered. Right, well it's come to that time of day again, time to round things up and say goodbye. And well, me and Rachel are just enjoying the fire now, which is obviously lovely and warm. As you can see how big it is, just instantly got it going great with some of all that sort of scrap wood that needs to get rid of. But yeah, so I hope you've all enjoyed watching today's episode and everything going on. Now we've got everything's all watered and sorted out, and I'm happy the fact that those trees are finally in, and I've got that rhubarb in as well as I've finally got the crops planted. Well, at least the first bunch of crops. I am undecided as to whether I'm doing more or less. I need to put the onions and potatoes and stuff like that in, things that go direct into the ground, as well as the beans and the carrots and the parsnips. So they're not planted yet, but I'm going to be getting them planted ASAP, because obviously I need to dig the ground over, and see, until that's done I can't plant it all. So I need to get this shed sorted in order to get that sorted, so I've got all the space back. So hopefully at some point during this week, should hopefully one night be able to get down here, and hopefully Mick and Finn will be down and be able to finish off the shed base. So be able to get that done, and once that's done, then next weekend, hopefully, as long as that's all done and ready for it, fingers crossed all being well, next weekend should be able to get the big metal shed up and have that all sorted out and everything. And then a lot more tidying up can happen and sorting more out, because then, like I say, the space is back. So yeah, so there's that to happen. Yeah, that's it really for today. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell button, check out the Facebook link below and the Instagram link below. I'm posting more things on Instagram as soon as like different pictures of cool things that I happen to see on the allotment, as well as whenever some crops start to come through, I'll be posting on there. So you'll see the race of when the actual sweet corn comes through, as well as the tomatoes and stuff, and just see which ones happen to come through first, which I'm looking forward to seeing, because it's pretty interesting to see what's going to happen on that front. But yeah, so that's it for today. So thank you all very much for watching, and as always, I'm Josh, been living not existing. Goodbye.